Hi, thanks for tuning into my Friendslist how-to video. In this video today, we're going to talk about changing the look of the friends list. Now, one of my goals in making this pack was to have a very customizable uh, template to change the colors or even the pictures, the icons to whatever you need for your own game. So we'll go ahead and go to the maps and open the overview map. And in here, we'll have something called I have four sample themes set up: the blueberry theme, the strawberry theme, the lemon theme, and the melon theme. Now, they may not be pleasing to a lot of people, just something to show you how to get it done. So I'll go ahead and hit play. The default theme is the blueberry theme, which is very Fortnite-like. It has the blue, and all the blues, and all that stuff. So, and then if we click off, we want to go and change. The best thing is about this is that you can change the themes real time. So you could actually have players pick their own themes in the game that they want. Here's more of a strawberry theme. And then if you want to go to like a lemon theme and more of a yellow, then also a melon theme. I know, very creative on those naming. All right, so let's show you how to do this. I'll go ahead and X out of this. The first thing we got to do is go to the blueprints, and then from there we see something called the theme list. We open that up, and here is, let me go ahead and delete this. I was playing around. Go ahead and delete this out of there. Oh no, just delete. Okay. So if you look in here, I already have four themes set up, and this is set up by default. So whatever you have in here by default, select the color theme, it will start up in your friends list. So if I just wanted a strawberry theme all the time or melon theme, I could do that. And the way I have it changing in the level blueprint is as you go over those triggers, all I'm doing is getting the theme manager, setting the select the color theme, then open the friends screen. So it's pretty straightforward on changing your theme at runtime. But let's step back here a second and talk about actually just customizing our own look. So what I like to do is just go ahead and take one of these themes like the blueberry one and let's duplicate it. And let's call it a new theme. Let's call it theme sleek. All right. So we'll go ahead and drag this out and get theme sleek. And then I want to set this as our default theme instead of the blueberry. And there we have it. We have our new theme set up. Now we just got to change the configuration. So when we click on it, we look at the default values. We go over here and open it up. And this is where you see all of the options. We have the expand button, all the button style, the normal, the hover, the press, the disable, what colors they are, the padding, the sounds, if you want to add sounds to when they get pressed, the font styles, the number styles, the tint style, the arrow icons, the arrow highlights, and the left border, if you want to have that little border on the side of it. And this is for each of the buttons themselves. Here's the friend style buttons. Same thing with that, what colors they are. And then the option style buttons. And then the main button. You can see the color palette that we're going here with. And then the fly out color. So we'll go ahead and just start with the expand button. So if we want to click on that, and one of the things you can do is kind of go online and look for different color themes, different shades that go together. So I kind of have one I like. I'm going to go with more of let's click on this and go with, so we'll start with the normal one. Let's go ahead and change the tint. And what I want to do is go ahead and change it to something else. So let's go with a color, maybe like a green shade, something like that. All right, and then we'll go ahead and copy this, because what we want to do is for the hover and press, we want to go ahead and copy those in there too. So we'll go ahead and change the tint on those, the same, and then also the pressed, do the same on that. There we go. So first thing we're going to do is go ahead and see what that does for us. We'll go ahead and play and go into the, you can see what's happening is these expand buttons are turning green themselves. So we kind of see how that's taking effect. We'll close that down. So the first expand button is these category buttons, all right? So the next thing we want to do is go ahead and change these buttons. So we'll go ahead and X out of that. And let's go to back to the theme list and go to the next thing, the friend button. So the button style. So this one, let's do something a little bit different. I'll go ahead and let's do more of like a gray. Let's do a gray. Maybe something like that, maybe a little darker. Let's do that. Copy it. And then same thing for the hovered. And same thing for the pressed. Now you could change the tint of each of the pressed or the hovered look if you want to. There's already some highlighting going on with it, built into it. There's a like unknown feature with the button style system inside of UE4. If you put them all the same color, it automatically does some tinting to it. But if you start changing each of the other ones individually, that tinting automatic change goes away to some extent. So we'll save that. Let's see what the progress is now. We'll go ahead and go back in here. Oh, sorry, you gotta hit O. Hit play again. I actually hit the trigger. I want to hit O and go straight into it. And now we can start to see I have my gray going back and forth. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to change the blue of the font of this. So let's go ahead and go back and do that. And so on. So we'll go to this. And actually what we could do is we could go to the friends list itself, the UMG, friends UI. And since we're working with setting the default theme, we can actually see this real time. So we can move this to the side here and then play with the values. And it's a little off screen here, so it's kind of difficult to see. Let me do that here. All right, so this might be an easier way to set this up. And we'll go ahead and look at the name font. And I want to pick a color, probably more like maybe something like that. Hit OK. All right. And let's go to see, you have to compile and then it updated. Now we have that being filled in. And then basically you're starting to see how easy it is to actually go in there and change some of these. And then you can also, if you wanted to do not a color, you can actually change the images out, put some border images in there. Let's see, I might actually have a couple to try. Let's see here. Oops. One of the annoying things to do is when you click on these arrows, you got to hold down the mouse button because if you let go too quickly, it'll open this curve atlas up almost every time. It's pretty annoying. So we'll go ahead down here, look for some textures. There's probably not a lot to choose from without making some, so we'll kind of do some hunt and pecking here. Let's do maybe a gradient. Is there a gradient texture? Okay, let's add this gradient texture and then hit compile. You can see we start to have a gradient across there. And then one other thing we could do is, I don't think that's a very good gradient. Is there another gradient? How about this one? Yeah, that one looks like a better one. Now you can start seeing the gradient in the buttons. So you can easily add some textures to it. You can even do, if you wanted actually like a painted texture, there might be a couple in here we could try. Let's try a tile or something. Let's see here. Let's do maybe this one. Does this one look okay? That might look all right. So if we go ahead and compile this, it's pretty dark, and also it's a little stretched. We can go ahead and change the tile to both. Compile it again, and we got a little bit of texture in the background there. So you can see you can add whatever you really wanted. We just kind of picked a few out of the engine. Definitely wouldn't want to use these. You wouldn't want to make your own, but the idea is there. All right. So what else can we do? We can change the icons. Let's go ahead and look at the images here. Let's change the button style. Let's go to the platform icon. This is where you could do whatever you wanted as far as. Let's look here. We'll just pick something. Audio master. That looks kind of cool. So what does that do? It changes that icon out there, which is not exactly what I want. So I'll go ahead and undo that and compile it. It comes back. All right. So we'll have to get back onto our theme sleek and open that up. Undo closes everything, so just be aware of that. All right, so I don't really have a lot of icons to change that, but this actually changes that icon there, as you see. And then also we can change the arrow style that we have for opening these party buttons. If you want to change it to something completely different, you can do it here. The highlight. So the highlights actually what happens whenever, let's go ahead and play so we can see what the highlight is exactly. So we hit O. And as you go over here, we can click on this, see the highlight of the arrow. The little animations are built in. You can just change that out, and then see how the arrow is animated to go left and right. So you can change all of those pieces individually. You can see that the border, we only did it for normal. When you hover, it goes back to the gray. So you definitely would want to copy that through the rest of them. All right, so what else can we change here? What else is important? We can change this background here. All right, so let's look at what other options we have here. So these are the button styles. So this is for some other features if you want to have invite to party, stuff like that. So let's go ahead and show you. Let's pick this one up and change it to something so we know that we're making a change to it. Let's look at something maybe more blue, maybe a little lighter, and then take it back, maybe something like that. Okay, and then compile it. Now, since it's actually an activated one, we'd actually hit play and then hit O. And then once we see it, we can see we changed this color from that blue to that light blue look. So that's definitely not, I wouldn't go with that color, but you get the idea. You change that. And then we also have the main button and the flyout background. So the panel background, so which is this background here, we can sit there and change that to whatever color we wanted. So I'm thinking more, let's get this brighter, maybe a little bit darker, something maybe like that. Let's see what that looks like, and hit compile. And you start seeing how, oh, that's probably not the right choice. Probably need to go a little bit darker on that. Okay. There, now we're starting to get a better look. And then the top button there is the button style, so the normal. So if we actually change this, because this is actually a button to close this, so this whole thing is underneath that. So if we want to change that button too, we could change it to the same color. So we want to get that panel background, copy it, Control C, and then go to this one and paste it over there. And if we want it to match, now you don't have to have a match. It'd probably look nicer though if you did, so you can get the idea there. So it's pretty quick to go in there and change these. You can change the colors. You can change it out with different materials or textures. You can actually change it out with different icons too. So it's really open-ended. Some of the things you may run into is padding. If you start putting some different icons in here. Right now, these icons are placed automatically with avatars of Steam, so I wouldn't change those out. Those are changed automatically. That's just a default until the Steam avatar is downloaded for the friend. This one is really up to you. You can have it nothing there if you wanted to, etc. And then basically that's really it. I mean, there's not much more to it. It's pretty straightforward on what pieces. Just figure out what button is which reference to the panel UI. Well, if you have any questions or any comments, please leave them below. And thanks again for watching. Bye.